Hi everyone, this is Robert Conrad reminding you to join me each week on CRN for the PM show with Robert Conrad. We'll read your emails, take your calls, and chat with some of the hottest stars in Hollywood. Tune in Thursdays to the PM show with me, Robert Conrad, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Tune in to the PM show with Robert Conrad, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, 6 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Flying high at 60,000 feet, on the very cusp of outer space, he is strapped in and ready to dive bomb the pernicious peddlers of the pornographic politic. So run for cover. It's the Fred Dryer Radio Show. Incoming! And now, here is your host, Fred Dryer.
Thank you so very much, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It's the PM show with Fred Dryer and Michael Horn. Michael Horn is sitting right opposite me.
Aye, sir. I'm sorry.
You're strapped in. I see you buckled in.
Did not have my communication device turned on. I'm sorry.
That's all right. You got plenty of time.
Yes.
We're just now attaining altitude, and I look at the altimeter, and we have to have altitude in order to dive bomb the pernicious peddlers. And
Yes.
Today we're at the altitude of 61,089.
That's a little lower than we normally are.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's been a busy week, and I'll just say this, that we've all heard about the Trayvon. We've all heard about the big deal. We've all heard about and watched how how the mainstream media has used the Zimmerman trial and Mr. Zimmerman himself as a punching bag in order to foil us, to get us off of the real questions of a failed government and a criminal government. And so I'm not going to spend a lot of time, nor I believe you want to spend a lot of time talking about
It's been said a million times already
about the Trayvon crap and responding to idiots and racists, because that's what it is. Stupid people, racists. I don't want to talk about it. There are some things that are interesting to me that we will get into and talk about.
Well, one thing we should mention is that NBC editing statements that were made by George Zimmerman when he was being questioned on the 911 call that he made. They edited things out, so it made him appear in the playback that he was, saying, "Oh, this guy's black. He's this," and he was just answering questions. If you heard the full amount, it was like, "There's a guy. He looks like could be on drugs or whatever." They said, "Well, is he Hispanic? Is he white? Is he black?" He says, "It looks like he could be black," and then they just edited all that down. So the media fabricated this whole racism, the hatred to start with coming through.
That's right. That's the model.
Perpetuated by the broadcasters that edited down the stuff instead of reporting just the facts. And I think that's very sad in our country these days. Very sad.
It's criminal, and it is part of the new. It's going into its 5th year now, and it was told to us, I'm going to fundamentally change America, and he's doing it every way, shape, or form. And that's
We're talking
what
about the president said he was going to fundamentally change
That's what Barry's doing. That's what all these people are doing. You're using every little opportunity, every little bit of scrap of instances of a daily life in America that they believe they can cobble together and stir into propaganda that gets you off of what they're doing. And all of this is propaganda. All of it, and I mean all of it, is aimed at just throwing up flack, hoping America runs into it and bites onto it. And remember, the model is flood the airwaves with crap, and they won't be asking for substantive information. And that's what's going on here in America. And the one thing that came out of this that I believe it's really sent people reeling is that Stevie Wonder will not go to any of the states that have a stand your ground law.
You got to be kidding me.
No, and
you got to be kidding
me. So that's like 19
So now
or 22
that law
states.
was put in there just because it's a racist law.
That's right.
I can't
exactly.
believe it.
Well, it's again.
I can't believe this. This is crazy.
White racism prevails. We'll be right back.
It's the PM Show Weekend Edition with the one and only Fred Dreyer. Email Fred incoming at crni.net.
Hi, folks. This is Fred Dreyer for Regenix. Like so many people today, I was losing my hair. I was literally watching it fall out, jumping right off the top of my head. So I said, that's it, enough. I called Regenix. I still remember that first day I walked through those doors. It was magical. It changed my life. When they introduced me to their patented hair analysis program, I immediately saw why I was losing my hair. Through their microscopic examination, I saw gray, sickly scalp. I had no circulation. The hair follicles themselves were caked and clogged with a dirty, oily sludge. I was so relieved. Finally, there was hope. So now, after 6 years on the Regenix program, my scalp is pink and clean, and my hair is growing back. It makes so much sense. Don't wait. Call Regenix right now. Pick up the phone and put an end to your worries. Start by calling 1-800-REGENIX. That's 1-800-REGENIX, or go to Regenix.com.
It's the PM Show, Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Once again, the star of our show, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thank you so much, Mr. Horn. Got that side of the airplane cleaned up?
Everything's cleaned up. Everything's good. The microphone's working. Everything is going and checking the altimeter right now. 61,088.
No, it's 89.
Oh, we fell down by one. I'm sorry. You better put it back up.
I think that's, maybe your stomach bumped into the button.
Yeah, could be. So I'll put it back up there again. 61,089.
That's where we got to be to dive bomb.
Yes.
Here it is. Stevie Wonder reacts to verdicts. Singer-songwriter Stevie Wonder says he will not perform in states with stand-your-ground laws that were at the heart of the controversial George Zimmerman murder trial in Florida. Quote, I decided today, that's today, July 17th, that until the stand-your-ground law is abolished in Florida, I will never perform there again, unquote.
Well, there's like 33 states that have a stand-your-ground law, and this is just a law. It's not a racist law. It has to do, again, it's a law that was voted in or put in by the state legislature that basically says if you feel that you're under attack or that there's a harm going to come to you, some kind of bodily harm or physical harm or whatever, you can stand your ground. And that's what was the actual law on this case of the George Zimmerman trial. And George Zimmerman, apparently the jury felt threatened, and then there was a gun involved. The whole thing is stupid that it began with anyway. I mean, you can talk about the feelings and how stupid and all this stuff was, but this is what happened. There was an altercation between one man and another man. They could have been black and white or whatever. It had nothing to do with race, and one felt threatened, and then the other one felt threatened, and then there's fisticuffs that come in. At this point, someone died, and as Hillary Clinton would say, it's not going to bring them back. And it's like the law is the law, and this Zimmerman had the right to use this gun, and unfortunately someone died over a very stupid altercation. It's like I'm not condoning this whole the death here. I mean, this is a terrible tragedy to this Trayvon Martin family, but be that as it may, the law says this person could be there. It doesn't mean it's a racist law. It could have happened with two white guys, two black guys, two Asian guys, the mix and match, whatever you want. It's a law. I don't think that law was put in to kill blacks. I don't think that's why that law is put into any state.
Maybe Stevie Wonder.
And Stevie thinks it is, and I think that's ridiculous.
Well, believe me, Stevie goes along with the politic. And remember, by the way, have you seen the size of Al Sharpton's head now?
Has it grown?
Have you seen this? This thing literally looks. This is a Mardi Gras head. This is the type of thing you'd put on a string or a rope during the holidays and bob down Fifth Avenue.
Well, has he lost weight that made his head bigger than the rest of his body?
Yeah, I think he had one of those barium enemas, and then they took about 800 feet.
Where are you going here? I don't understand.
Well, just here we go. He took about 800 feet of his intestine out, and he lives on peanuts and puddle water.
He did have an.
Yeah, he had that whole bite. He had that whole thing. Yeah, of course.
I didn't know that.
He has no discipline to get down like that.
So he lost his weight by having his.
Yeah, that's like most people do. They just say, I want to look good by next weekend.
They do look funny after that.
They do. That's malnutritious. He has a Indian look to him now. Where
he does have a different look
death.
now. I understand why.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's it.
We have him on a soundbite.
That's why I put you on the show.
Thank
so
you.
You'll learn these things.
I learned this stuff now.
Yeah. Now, look. Hitting on this Trayvon thing. All this does is inflame a buried truth in this country, and that is liberal politics and the politics of skin color has destroyed Black America. It's destroyed the home, destroyed the family. It's destroyed the ability for them to perceive their surroundings of Western civilization and understand what laws mean. These people in the streets, they throw a tantrum, and that's been the big language of the 60s. Throw a tantrum, go to the streets, be an activist, be a jerk, tip cars over, set stuff on fire, and weak, dumbass white people who are in charge will let you get away with it, and then they'll sit down and ask you, okay, what do you want? And you'll tell them we want abortion, and we want everybody to be equal, and we want you to give us affirmative action, and we want you to
don't we have all that already?
We want you to make 2 and 2 is 5.
Exactly.
And so we want all of that stuff. And so once we grant it to them, they're still not happy. And they don't understand that this was a railroaded trial to begin with, that the politic of the left, starting with Barry, starting with the Justice Department, Eric Holder, all the way down through the administration, put pressure socially on the people in Florida and the grand jury and the police chief. By the way, the police chief of Sanford is Black, and he came out and said there's absolutely no reason to bring this guy up on charges. And so they decided to bring him up on charges, just like a tantrum would be. Okay, we think what you're doing is ridiculous, but we're going to let you have the front seat, because we got to just do something to shut you up. And that's what's happened. And it's 40 years, 45, 50 years of this tantrum throwing and this demand that common sense and reason be put aside for personal pique and politics. That tell you that 2 and 2 is 5, and that white people are bad, and you got idiots like Stevie Wonder, who can't see not only what to wear,
because common sense is
terribly. Who dressed him here?
They're throwing him out. They're throwing this stuff out the window from common sense. It's like there's the tragedy with children that are killed in a grammar school, and the word is let's get rid of all the guns, instead of why don't we figure out why this person went nuts and did all this to begin with, and try to find out what the problem is that caused this person to go ahead and get guns and do this kind of thing. It wasn't that the guns were available. This guy would have found guns wherever he wanted to find them. And criminals will find guns anywhere they can find them. And so this is another thing. It's this law, that they have now. We have to throw out the law because of this law, justice was not served. Justice was served because that law is there. If you don't like it, get that law removed from your particular state.
Go to the polls
and vote it out.
Vote it out and
Exactly.
Be heard, but don't start burning, cars.
Correct.
In the streets and throwing a tantrum and hurting and injuring people, like we've learned, like generation after generation has learned from people in my generation. I was 20 years of age in 1966 on the campus at San Diego State, and I saw a lot of that politic coming out of the Watts riots of 1965, and all of the bad behavior and all of the learned and accepted language of protest. And I've always wondered, why don't the people on the right, the people who believe in the Constitution and promote freedom and liberty and common sense and reason and knowing what is self-evident, why don't those people take to the streets? Why don't they rally for the Constitution and common sense and reason? They don't do it, and that's one of the reasons. It's one of the reasons Republicans are failed as a party. But being that as it is,
they did do it as the Tea Party, and then the IRS got them and tried to tear them apart.
Yeah, well, we're going to see. We got 14, 16 months between now and the next election in November of 2014 to see if America's woken up or not. And things like this just tell me that that they haven't. But that is as it is. Trayvon is dead, unfortunately, and George Zimmerman was freed. Fortunately, justice prevailed. We'll be right back.
PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. Email Fred Dreyer, incoming at crni.net.
Attention business owners, if your company is having trouble paying its bills, there are many ways your creditors can hurt you. They start by calling you at work, then at home. Then they call other family members that guaranteed payment. They can sue you, take your assets, freeze your bank accounts, and threaten your very way of life. If you don't handle these matters properly, you could lose everything. The good news is that you don't have to live like this anymore. Corporate Turnaround has helped thousands of small business owners reduce their debts and buy them the time they needed to pay their creditors. Rated A+ by the Better Business Bureau, Corporate Turnaround will immediately go to work handling your most difficult debts and keep your creditors from putting you out of business. The call is free and so is our consultation. That's right, we'll provide you with expert advice right now absolutely for free as part of this special radio promotion. Visit us now at profitfromdebt.com or call 1-800-505-3894, 1-800-505-3894, 1-800-505-3894.
As a small business owner, there's one word that you absolutely dread: payroll. For small businesses, it's a big burden. You may think you're saving time and money doing it yourself. But come on, are you? Timesheets, processing checks, calculating taxes, a total waste of your time. Paychex simplifies payroll processing, saving you time and money. Submit your payroll online, fax it in, or call your dedicated Paychex payroll specialist. And you're done. Learn more at trypaychex.com. Come on, do the math. The IRS dishes out 8 million penalties a year. Make one mistake and you're on the hook. On average, you're losing nearly one business day every month doing payroll. That's time and money you'll never get back, unless you get Paychex. More than 500,000 small businesses already do. Call 888-578-5378. Trade payroll pressure for peace of mind. Call now. 888-578-5378. That's 888-578-5378.
Want a home security system, but you're not sure which monitoring company to choose? Consider this. Unlike cable and other providers who are new to home security, ADT has been helping protect homes for more than 100 years. Plus, ADT has multiple monitoring centers in the United States, so you can be sure your service will never be interrupted. And now you can get an ADT monitored system worth $850 for free. Just pay a $99 installation charge and monthly monitoring for less than $2 a day. Just call Protect Your Home, your authorized ADT dealer today. Call toll-free 866-669-8954. 36-month monitoring contract required. General terms and conditions apply. Visit protectyourhome.com/terms. Why choose anyone but the nation's home security leader to protect your home? Call now, 866-669-8954. That's 866-669-8954. 866-669-8954. It's the PM Show, nationwide, coast to coast, CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show, the one and only star of television, star of stage, star of screen, and football legend, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thanks so very much. Great to be with you. And, no matter what happens in life, you're looking at the newspaper. Life is like the newspaper. You look at the headlines and above the fold information, the visuals and all the big bold print and the preparation of what the propagandists believe that you should know about. And you read this stuff, and you realize that tomorrow there's another paper.
There is always another paper.
There's always another paper.
We're at the midway point kind of in the baseball game, starting to be picking up again. And what'd you think, first off, of the All-Star game? Did you watch that 3-0 victory by the American League over the National League? Home field advantage for the World Series was at stake there. The American League team will have home field advantage.
Yeah, well, the National League played like there was no potato salad.
What was the deal there?
They played like they just showed up, and they got some badges, the Big Apple badges, and for their kids, and that was it. They didn't play. They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat.
What is wrong with the National League?
Do you hear what I just said?
Yes, they couldn't hit water if it fell off.
If they fell out of a boat.
That's right. They couldn't hit it.
And so you've got a 3-0 score. There was like 4 hits in the game or 5 hits
Boring.
in the game. 4 hits. Jeez, well, you have to, you got to go to the bus early.
Did you play when you were a football player? Did you play in the Pro Bowl?
Yeah.
And it was at the end of the season. It was just like a fun thing at the end of the year, and that was it, right?
Well, yeah, but that's
But
that's
you
it.
played to win,
It
didn't you?
didn't mean anything. You wanted to go there, and it wasn't a big money game like the Super Bowl and the NFC Championships games were, the AFC Championship games. But you went there and you had to play to a level that kept you from getting hurt.
Right. And so I'm going to ask you a question. There's a famous baseball player who was asked to be on the All-Star team twice and refused both times. Do you know who that guy is? He's still in the baseball leagues today. In fact, he's a manager.
Jim Leland.
That's a good guess. Kurt Gibson was asked twice to play in the All-Star game, and twice he refused. He thought it was just a foolish kind of thing. And it's like, I don't get this whole mystique of this. They make this thing like it's some kind of like the giants of the game coming down. They play.
Yeah.
I just think there should not be this home field advantage, because that's a serious thing.
I don't
you
either.
get the best record. You
Yeah, I
should
don't either.
earn that
Yeah.
by your record, not by some jerks that are playing the All-Star game.
remember this. The reason that Selig, not Tom Selig,
Bud Selig. Was it Tom Selig? I believe he was in one of those Team Magnum PI. Bud Selig.
Yeah, he had.
It was a Tom Selig, his brother. Yes.
Yeah, he had that. What was it? He was driving a Volkswagen
With Larry Manetti. He used to be Tom Selig and Larry Manetti in the show.
And the guy at the helicopter. That guy.
Yeah.
The black guy with the helicopter.
Yeah, TC.
I love that guy.
Yeah, Raji Mosley. He's a good guy.
Yeah, and
Higgins.
And Higgins, yeah, and Higgins. Yeah. He was the butler. No, he was the owner of the house.
He
the guest
actually
house.
was Robin Masters. It turned out at the very end of the series, not to destroy it for those of you that are right in the middle of all the reruns watching them again. But he turned out to be Robin Masters in disguise. He was Higgins was actually Robin Masters.
Wow.
You didn't know that? You didn't see the
know
last
that.
episode? I'm so sorry.
I got to just give me a
Who
moment
did-
to write it down. Just give me a moment.
Okay. Okay, I got another. So how
Just a second. ERS.
Higgins
Masters.
was Robin Masters.
Yeah, excellent.
Just remember that. Stick it right on your DVDs there.
Yeah.
Actually, you have that old. I'm
Put
not
it on a
kidding you now.
stick-em.
You've got that VHS tape deck, and you might.
I've got the
tape
8-track. I've got the 8-track. What do
You have an
talking about?
8-track also?
I had an 8-track in my Volkswagen van.
There are pictures of you on YouTube.
You
We
bet
should
there
put them
is.
on your web
No, you bet there
page
is. You bet
so they
there
can
is.
see you in your Volkswagen
You
van.
bet. They should see me in my van. Man, believe me, if that van, if that van were here today,
Bodie Stroud from In the Garage with Bodie Stroud show, he would really cherry that thing
He
out for
would,
you.
yeah.
He'd raise it up a little
He
bit because
would.
you're a tall guy, so you could stand in it.
well, I would like to have a hole cut right in the top, right where the steering wheel is, right
you can
below.
stand up, right?
So I could stand up,
Right.
kind of sit on the back of the seat, and then steer with my feet.
I mean, did you ever sell ice cream out of that thing?
I did. I used to do it all the time.
All right, I have another baseball question where we come back. I'm sorry.
Baseball question?
Yeah.
It has something to do with Mariano Rivera?
Mariano Rivera too.
Yeah.
yeah,
Does it have
both of
something to do
those
with
guys.
him? Yeah.
And Cheetah Rivera. Did you notice that Cheetah
Cheetah
Rivera was
Rivera.
playing in the All-Star? So was he the All-Star, the most valuable player of the All-Star game?
Yeah, he
Mariano
was.
Rivera.
Why, I don't know. But
I don't either.
I think it was such a boring game. They had to give it to somebody somebody would say, well, yeah, okay, I guess you got to give it
There
to
was a
him.
peanut vendor behind home plate that I thought was doing a good job throwing peanuts. I think they should have given it to him.
Yeah.
You know, there's that guy at Dodger Stadium, that Roger guy that's
Yeah,
out there.
he's
He throws.
good.
He is. He's been
Behind
doing it
his
for 50
back.
years. He was telling us the last
He
time. I
throws
was
that
there.
stuff behind his back, and he brings home the bacon.
He actually-
They sell bacon out there, too.
Yeah, I do. He actually plays better than the Dodgers actually played most of the year.
All right. That's another segment down the drain.
It's the PM show with the one and only Fred Dreyer.
Fact. U.S. credit card debt is 8 times larger than it was 30 years ago. No wonder you and I are feeling the credit card crunch. You're not alone. Increasing prices and the costs of credit are stretching budgets and preventing people just like us from getting ahead or just catching up with our debts. At American Financial Debt Relief, we can help. We have tested ways to help you get out of debt. Find out how now. The call is free to learn more. If you qualify, we can reduce your interest, show you how to stop your debt from getting larger, and help you get out of debt faster than you can by making minimum payments. So if you're falling behind on your credit cards or medical bills, give us a call right now, where a free 5-minute call can change your life.
800-978-4817. 800-978-4817. Reduce your credit card debt. Call now. 800-978-4817. 800-978-4817.
If you have gout and think a few attacks a year are all you have to worry about, think again. Fact is, gout can attack silently, even between flares. You may not feel it, but gout's root cause, high uric acid, can allow crystals to continuously form and build up in your joints. Over time, this may lead to attacks in other joints, constant pain, and joint destruction. So don't wait. Get more information at goutinfo.com and talk with your doctor about ways to keep your uric acid at a lower, healthy level.
Listen, if you're considering buying hardwood flooring, don't do anything until you've written down this number and received your free Lumber Liquidators catalog.
The flooring was high quality with an unbeatable price tag.
Call in the next 10 minutes to get your free catalog.
What I bought at Lumber Liquidators is of vastly higher quality than flooring I had installed 6 years ago, and for a fraction of the cost.
So if you want great hardwood flooring at unbeatable prices, trust Lumber Liquidators. We buy direct from the mills. Call right now to get our flooring guide and catalog absolutely free. It's filled with top quality hardwood flooring, including solid hardwoods, laminates, and bamboos, and even Bellawood pre-finished flooring with a 100-year transferable warranty. The same floor Bob Vila has in his home. This free catalog is full of tips, ideas, and our flooring project list to make your buying decisions easy. Hurry, call right now to get a copy of this free guide and catalog. Call 800-542-0122 to get your free copy now. 800-542-0122. 800-542-0122.
Hey, this is Steve Sanchez. I want you to join me every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time as I bring you real, raw, relevant truth. My show is the alternative to the alternative media, and we'll discuss culture, politics, and info that keeps you in the know right here on CRN Digital Talk. Follow me on Twitter at Real Raw Talk and be part of the Triple R Brigade, and we'll catch you on the other side.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante in Fullerton, California, celebrating 40 years of food, fun, and festivals. Dine amidst the masters in a festive, theatrical Italian town square. Enjoy delicious hand-stuffed pastas, tortellini, fresh-baked breads, sauces of the freshest ingredients made from a private stock of Sicilian family recipes. Enjoy our bar and complete wine list and our 5 wines for $10 special. Sunday brunch, just $13.95. It includes champagne, an omelet bar, a wide range of entrees, and a chocolate fountain for dessert. Also enjoy our express lunch buffet Monday through Friday, just $8.50. Come to Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurante at 550 North Harbor Boulevard in downtown Fullerton, California. Planning a party? Call Angelo's and Vinci's for your wedding reception, rehearsal dinner, bridal shower, or party. Free banquet facilities and a variety of menus and options are available. Call 714-879-4022. Visit us at angeloandvincis.com. Like us on Facebook, and don't forget the monsters in the wine cellar. Welcome back to the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Once again, the star of our show, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Hey, listen, folks, you know, I've always believed that one of the most unbelievable things that you'll never see in Major League sports.
What's that, Fred?
In professional sports is a Major League Baseball player out of breath. But, you know, I actually saw it. I had heart palpitations, you know, watching the All-Star game as you know, Milwaukee's Carlos Gomez, the right fielder in the All-Star game, botches Cecil Fielder's line drive that gets past him, rolls to the fence, and then Cecil realized He realized halfway down the first baseline that it wasn't going to be caught, that he's now going to have to run.
He's got to run.
So this guy, who can run pretty good, by the way, for a big guy, he went all the way around to third base and slid into a third base, and he was out of breath. And I thought for a minute, holy smoke! You know, I mean, is he going to need CPR? You know, this is really amazing. You know, I think this is probably the wrong time to do this.
Yeah, I think it's the right time. Let me ask you a question. Most career Major League Baseball All-Star runs scored. Who scored the most runs at an All-Star game?
Who scored the most runs in an All-Star game?
Yeah, who you have a baseball player in mind that you think scored the most runs?
You know, anybody could put me to sleep with asking me trivia baseball questions.
Come on, just come up with this. Give me a name. Who has the most career Major League Baseball All-Star runs scored?
Let's see. I'm going to go with Pete Rose.
Pete Rose is a good guess. I'll give you 4 to choose from. Rod Carew, Stan Musial, Ted Williams, or Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
That's exactly right. 20 runs scored. This guy played the game passionately every time he was on the field.
He played to get on base.
He did. Same with Stan Musial. Same with Ted Williams. Same with Rod Carew.
I love these guys.
So that's it. Willie scored 20 runs, Stan Musial 11, Ted Williams 10, Rod Carew 8. Now, what do you think about the halfway point? Let's go with a couple of teams here. The Yankees. Are you disappointed in the Yankees this year? They've been injured. You know, they got is Alex Rodriguez going to do anything?
Yeah, he's going. I think he's finished. I think the Yankees are really seriously hoping that they can get rid of him and get some money back from him.
How can they do that?
Dump him. He's violated his contract. That's what they're going to say, and I don't blame him because that guy is a liar.
So he lied. He violated.
Yeah, he's a liar. But I just I know some people who know some people who know some people.
Really?
Say, yeah. And the guy is narcissism is it's got his picture in the dictionary. When you look it up.
What about the Dodgers? What do you think on
love them. I love them.
Do you so far the first half of the season? Do you give them any good marks in any department like offense, relief pitching, defense, starting pitching, management, as far as the coaches go, and that sort of thing?
Well, I like their management. I think that they're approaching the game the correct way. Certainly, I think they're going to go out and get Matt Garza. I think they're going to go out and get a back of the bullpen guy, somebody who can come in on the
bullpen was terrible in the first half,
7th or 8th inning.
I'd give the bullpen
I think they now know. I think they now know two things. I think they now know that they have a team that can compete to win the division. I think they believe they can win it. And the other thing else is they're now faced with the reality of having to sign Donnie Baseball to a 3-more-year contract.
Wow, you think that Don Mattingly?
And I got to tell you something. This is my feeling, and I don't know anything.
But you're a sports guy.
Yeah. But I'm a fan to a degree.
Yeah, okay.
But I try to look a little deep into these things, and I think that they like Donnie Baseball. But I believe they're looking for somebody more dynamic. I think the president of the team, I forgot Stan Kasten. I think he has other ideas about who he could bring in as a manager for the long run. I don't think he believes completely in Mattingly. I think that he thinks Mattingly is young in his managerial experience. Certainly he is, but also. You have to understand and be camera wise, and you have to be able to handle yourself on camera, and in all situations, in all times. And he's not camera friendly, Donnie Baseball.
No, but he's better. And here's what I will say to you that I think Fred Dreyer, and this is my own feeling, because I've been critical of Don Mattingly and the fact that he was always rubbing his neck and everything and not looking good on camera. Someone got a hold of him and stopped him from doing that.
Yeah, I don't know if that happened, but he's doing it less.
Yeah, and so my question is, I don't see him making any moves that cost the Dodgers games. I see that as a positive for him. I think he's making some right calls. I think, maybe he's calling for the bunt at the right time or this or that. I don't see, I'm starting to give him some good marks in actually being a strategic manager. I think, it's tough to do nowadays because most of the guys don't know how to bunt. You got a big hitter up there. You couldn't ask Albert Pujols to go ahead and bunt. He'll never do it. Yeah. And these guys should be able to bunt to surprise the opposition when you got to get the run to score the game and win.
Well, I was out of the Dodger game not too long ago. Last year, actually, the last
you haven't
series.
been this year.
Haven't been this year. And I didn't realize that Major League Baseball teams do not take infield anymore.
Isn't that weird?
Well, it's wrong.
It is wrong.
And the Dodgers are error prone. They lead the league again. I believe they're up there in the top.
The defense, I don't give them a big. I give them a D in defense.
They're
also
not good, and they also are out of shape. They report in out of shape. I've always been a big believer that in the off season, the franchise contacts each player. They contact everybody, but they talk to everybody, and they tell them what's expected of them. And as a football player, because of the nature of the game, that you have to show up and be ready. And when I mean be ready, I mean you got to be ready on day one, and you can't afford to go to training camp and be hurt and miss time. Baseball is the opposite. They don't. I don't care what you say. You can't tell me that these players show up and are in any type of condition, any muscle condition in terms of stretching, in terms of strength, endurance, fast muscle twitch, if you will, that tells you that these guys aren't prone to injury, and they all get hamstrings. That's what's wrong with Kemp. To come back 2 years after he's had this injury is irresponsible, and I think this team needs a manager and needs a voice from the top to get on these guys' asses and tell them that, you guys are making too much money, and if you're not going to show up, we're going to trade you. And that's as simple as that. There are too many nice guys.
It's the PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio with Fred Dreyer. Email Fred incoming at crni.net.
Kim is in a rush and a large tree has fallen on her car. She needs to file a claim. Should she A, strap her claim forms to a caffeinated Falcon, or B, file her claim on Geico.com? The correct answer is B. It's easy to quickly file a claim on Geico.com and set up an appointment with an adjuster. The caffeinated Falcon would probably get disoriented and deliver the claim to some burger joint. Geico.com is much more efficient and doesn't have dangerous talons.
Geico. Wherever, whenever. Just a click away with our free mobile app.
Let me take just a moment or two, if I may, and talk about a great place to eat. That's right, for you folks anywhere in the eastern San Fernando Valley, drop into Bob's Big Boys. That's right, in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. Now, everybody remembers the name Bob's. They're getting bigger and bigger every day, and little old Bob carrying the hamburger in his checkered overalls is the same Bob that you remember from back through the years. And, of course, if you want to go in for a great lunch, remember their classic burger, the original double-deck hamburger combination. Delicious 100% pure ground beef in 2 patties with American cheese, lettuce, and our famous Big Boy special sauce. The name is Bob, and I think when you go in, you'll say, by golly, I'm sure glad that I found this restaurant because it's good for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. They've got all kinds of things, and all you have to do is remember. Bob's Big Boy in Sun Valley at 8274 Sunland Boulevard. It's a great place to eat.
Hi, folks. Fred Dreyer here for Regenix. This September will mark my 7th year as a Regenix client. 7 years, and I could not be more satisfied. Why, you ask? Because they took the time to analyze, explain, and teach me what was specifically happening to my hair and scalp, and in doing so, gave me a reasonable expectation for positive results. If you have hair and scalp issues, there's only one place for you. Pick up the phone and dial 1-800-REGENIX or go to Regenix.com.
PM Show Weekend Edition on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn. Once again, the star of our show, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
So as I was saying, I think Stan Kasten and the Dodgers are looking at Donnie Baseball, over the top of their glasses and trying to figure out, is this the guy that is going to take us, and is this the guy we want to invest in for the next 3 to 4 years? Because if the Dodgers win this and then they go to the playoffs, they can't let the guy is a lame duck right now. He's on his last year, and you can't let the guy go through. You got to decide we're going to replace him at the end of the year or we're going to sign him up.
And if the team fails between now and the time that the playoffs start, then you say, okay, we're going to take a look at the end of the season.
Yeah, but you don't have to sign him up right now, do you? You don't have to.
Well, again, are you going to let him go into the playoffs if he wins it without a contract?
Yeah, and here's my reasoning behind that, because the great manager of the Dodgers, Walter Alston, used to sign one-year contracts, and he would get. And I think that's the way they should play the game.
But listen, I think everybody should have a one-year contract.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm saying that from the standpoint of the player. It makes a better player and a better teammate.
I agree with you on that. So 1 year deal, and you get signed up at the end of the year, and then they keep going along.
But here's my question: is Cecil Fielder still laying there at third base?
I think so.
I mean, there's a game there this Thursday, I think.
There's a game, and the
game start again. But do you think
he was out of breath? He was.
You got to bring in a gurney to get him off third base.
Yeah,
he was hugging it pretty good there.
Is he playing all right? I mean, he was one of the big the sort of the key pieces of signage this year when people were signing up some of the free agents. And is he having a good season, Cecil?
Well, he's in the All-Star game.
I know, but the fans vote that in. Is he having a decent season?
Well, I think he is. I don't think he's hitting for average, but I think he's, I mean, he can go from home to third, when he has to, and apparently make it to the dugout afterwards.
I think it's good.
Most of these guys, most of these guys are, out of it. But anyway, as I was talking earlier before the break, I'm not a big believer that you let these guys be idle in the off season.
I agree.
And you got to drive them. You got to get someone on there who just simply says, "This is what I expect. When you guys come in here, you're going to run 10 wind sprints. You're going to run right in a row, and then you're going to spend." I've always believed this. We had coaches that spent the first 4 days, that's 8 practices, doing conditioning drills.
Conditioning drills. They just went right through it. I agree with that.
They wanted to shake the team down and find out, all right, who's doing what, and let's see how good a shape we're in. Now you go put your helmet and the pads on, and we're going to play. And so what you wind up getting is, I think, leadership that is missing in baseball. I just don't believe it. I don't believe that.
You don't believe there's leadership?
I don't believe that you can show up in Major League Baseball because of that skill of hand-eye coordination. The eye hitting a round ball with a round bat, and the skill that it takes to do that, and do that for a long period of time without being in tip-top shape with your legs. You lose your legs, and you're finished. And a lot of these guys do it. Look at Matt Kemp. This guy signed a big contract, and coming off of that contract 2 years ago, he had a hell of a year, got a big contract. Last year he was hurt. This year he's hurt. And it's a shoulder now. It's a shoulder AC joint. He's got leg problems, and he's not an old guy. He's 24.
Yeah, he's young.
24, 25.
That's a serious thing for the Dodgers.
And he's way too young to be this beat up. And there's ways of taking care of yourself, and nobody does it. I've been out to the stadium, and I talked to some people out there, and you can take a look at games and see what guys are doing. And I knew the old Philadelphia, Gus Heffling, the old health strength coach for the Phillies, and he was
that's a good name, Gus Heffling.
Gus Heffling. He was a great guy, and he's retired in Florida now, but he was there for a while, and he was there with Steve Carlton and his workout guy, and when we went out to see him to the Dodger Stadium to see him, we went to Chinatown, had dinner and everything. We came back to the stadium getting ready for a doubleheader, and so Gus said, "I have to get back to the stadium. I got to work these guys out, and Carlton's pitching tomorrow, and so forth and so on. We got to get ready and stretch." I said, "Well, what do you guys do?" He said, "Well, come on to the stadium and watch us." And so I would go there, and I'm sitting in the Philly dugout, and here come the guys, and they're in their, baseball stuff and windbreakers, and they start running, and they start stretching, and they start doing yoga, and they start, really extensively stretching lower back, legs, hamstring, core stuff,
Right.
And there's only like 9 of them out there, and I said, "Where's the rest of the team?" He says, "This is it."
That's all that come out for this?
9 out of 27 guys on the team. He says 9, and he says the rest are in there at the buffet, and they have a nice one in there. Turkey and potato salad.
Right.
I joke about that stuff, but
they did.
It's in there.
Yeah,
and a beer cake, and beer, and they playing cards and having a great time, which is wonderful. But at the same time, all things are true. He says these guys sit in there. They don't want to work. They don't care. Pitchers. They go. Yeah, my arm feels good. I'm ready to go. They're not out really aggressively doing anything to preserve themselves. And as long as you perform well, and you live up to expectations, that's good enough, and that's the way it should be. I guess.
I guess they have an agent that gets as much money for you as much as they can in a shorter period of time, right?
Yeah, that's right. But when we come back, we'll talk about some other stuff here it's kind of interesting. I don't know what's going on in the movie business, but movies are dying like carp out there at the Salton Sea.
I haven't been fishing at the Salton Sea. I'll have to check that out. It's the PM Show on CRN with Fred Dreyer.
Time's running out. You're maxed out on your credit cards. The collection calls are coming every day, and now you're 2 payments behind on your mortgage. Every time you turn on the radio, there's some cheerful couple telling you how they got out of debt overnight. Their stress is gone, and everything's just wonderful. Come on. The truth is, what sounds too good to be true is too good to be true. Banks don't build skyscrapers so you can walk in and settle your credit card debt for pennies on the dollar. You need real help, and you need it now. Not bankruptcy. That should be your last choice. We're Credit Card Relief, and we've been helping people just like you for nearly a decade. We're the only attorney-driven program dedicated to helping you get out of debt in months instead of years, saving you thousands, and without risking your family home. We know what we're doing, and we don't make promises we can't keep. The consultation is free, and the relief is real.
800-981-7595. 800-981-7595. 800-981-7595.
Hi, I'm Amy Grant. Sometimes, without warning, life switches directions. This past year, as my sisters and I shared our last moments with our mom, I learned some important lessons. Unexpected turns are much easier to handle if you have a plan. That includes making smart insurance decisions. For starters, you need unbiased information. That's why I've partnered with the National Association of Insurance Commissioners to help you get the tools you need. Go to insureyouonline.org for more information.
Attention small business owners. Growing your business can be tough. Just when you thought you were making money, you found out that you owe the government money. And now that you owe the IRS their cut of your business profits, you may be broke. And if you don't take things seriously, you could go to jail or have your business shut down. But you do have an option. If the IRS is threatening you for unpaid taxes, call the Tax Resources Network. Their tax professionals and ex-IRS agents have over 23 years of experience dealing with the IRS, saving business owners and the self-employed millions in tax dollars. Let us negotiate with the IRS on your behalf. We may be able to reduce your tax debt for a lot less than you owe, help with the IRS audit, and even criminal investigations. If your business owes the IRS $15,000 or more and the IRS is threatening you, don't wait and let your business get shut down or worse. Call for a free consultation. Call 800-910-4980. 800-910-4980. That's 800-910-4980. Again, 800-910-4980.
This is Albert DeRobio.
And I am Nicky Barilla.
Join Bobby Bajol and us every Saturday at noon for the Wise Guy Sit Down Hour, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
We talk about old-time values, respect, honor, integrity,
loyalty, Italian food, love, hate, music, and sports.
We take calls and bust balls. The Wise Guy Sit Down Hour, Saturdays at noon on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Because if we're on the Fed's list of most listened to radio programs, we definitely should be on yours. Gabish?
PM Show nationwide, coast to coast on CRN Digital Talk Radio. I'm Michael Horn, the star of our show, Mr. Fred Dreyer.
Thank you so very much. Today in history, in 1483, England's King Richard III was crowned in Westminster Abbey. It's a long time ago.
Yeah, it's going back 2 years.
What do you think?
It's going down memory lane. What about movies? You were talking about...
They must have had some buffet there at that deal.
They did. Now, what about the movies? You said the movies are done. I think the movies are having a great comeback.
No, they're not. No, they're not.
What do you mean? You're in the entertainment biz. You know better than I.
Well,
What do you mean?
I don't know if I'm.
What's
I
happening?
don't know if I'm in the entertainment business or not. But this thing is this $250 million special effects negative pictures. The only thing that kind of really gets their money back.
Are the special effects?
Well,
films?
it's the cartoons.
The cartoons do well. They do very well. Yeah,
they do because you can take your children and
yes,
and it's really
that's the only
where,
family entertainment.
That's where you're really going to make out. But this movie R.A.P.D. Ryan Reynolds.
That's coming out this week.
It bombed.
It hasn't opened yet. It's opening up Friday.
Yeah, I know, but they just pan the hell out of it. They pan the hell out of it, and I saw the previews. And
I'm going to go to a screening if you'd like to join me. We can go check it out.
You are?
Yeah, you'd like to see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll go to that, and then you can sit there. Do you talk during the movies in the audience if you don't like something? Do you get audible?
Yeah. What I do is I order when I go up to the snack bar. I get Juji fruits. And I get bonbons
popcorn
and all the stuff. I get a lot. Everything I can get would have cellophane. So I wait till the movie starts, and then I start opening up all the cellophane bags.
Just to be annoying. That's
yeah,
it.
and then when someone says, "Would you please be quiet? It's rude," and I just start opening up more bags.
It's very interesting. Now, we have one other soundbite to play, and this is the KTVU newswoman on the afternoon news, who apparently got they checked with the authorities, and they found out that the NTSC, that this was exactly the names of the flight crew of that Asiana flight, that tragedy in San Francisco. And she reads these on the air with a straight face, and you can't believe these names. Can we hear that, Tomas?
Captain Sum Ting Wong, Wee Tu Lo, Ho Lee Fook, and Bang Ding Ao. The NTSB has confirmed these are the names of the pilots on board Flight 214.
The NTSB, they call, and apparently an intern said that they were okay, and they read those names on the air. And now the Asiana airline people are going to possibly sue the station, and this woman just read them. They were just given to her, and she started reading these things.
So the person that gave them was making the joke to see if this idiot would actually read them?
They thought they were the real names. They thought they were the real names of the captain.
No, this woman who read thought they were the real names.
Yes.
I'm giving her a promotion. That's the type of spunk I want in my company.
I mean, she just reads. The news people nowadays don't check out the stories; they just read.
No. Look, there's no such thing as news reporting anymore. It doesn't make any difference. I think it's really that's something that Saturday Night Live would do. It'd be pretty funny.
Exactly. And she read this on a regular newscast at noon in San Francisco on KTVU television. She read those names as the flight crew.
Are you offended? I'm not offended by that.
Well, I just think I'm offended by the fact that they don't check out the stories. I'm not.
I mean, that's true too. And but I think seeing as people were killed is probably an off-color thing to do.
It's very terrible. You got to check those stories.
But I got to think that to actually have somebody believe that those were the real names. That's the story.
When you're in the news media, that's terrible.
Yeah.
All right, we're out of time. Don't forget you can email Fred Dryer incoming at crni.net. Check him out on Facebook, facebook.com/The Real Fred Dryer. Do the show live Wednesdays at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. It's replayed on the weekend, so don't forget to email Fred incoming at crni.net. Final words from Fred.
Well, listen, it went by real fast. It's great to be back with you. And we survived another All-Star game, and I look forward to being with you next time.